Hello and welcome back. You're tuned into Revision Hub with Jazzy Jane. I'll be continuing to look at family and households, again an AQA A-level topic. Last video, we looked at our couples equal, domestic violence and abuse, impact of paid work on women, and much, much more. Before we continue, on paper or flashcards, quickly jot down what you remember from our previous videos. You will only know this if you revised, rested, tested, and repeated yourself. Supposedly, if you do not remember any of the content or a particular section, then please feel free to go back to my previous videos. I've made this easier by making a playlist. Migration. What is migration? Migration is simply the net number of people who move in and out of the country, whilst emigration is when you move from one country to another country where you're intending to settle permanently. For example, if I move from the US to a country like India permanently, then I'm going through the process of emigration as opposed to migration. There are various different push and pull factors. Pause, have a think. If you've got any of the ideas, please feel free to drop them out in the description box, the comment section. Migration. Again, this was the definitions. I really request you to learn these definitions before we go ahead, because these definitions will be coming in very handy to understand future content. Key statistics, which are important to note as well, because it's good to have statistical evidence which back your point and back the theories up, and sometimes they gain more marks. In 2014, there were 500,000 immigrants and 3,000 emigrants. I get always mixed up by these numbers, so try to round them off if that really helps. In 2009, there was a 2.9 increase within birth and fertility rate as they were young, so they were able to migrate here and give children really quickly, hence why the increase within birth and fertility rate. This is in the UK, so take note of that too. Globalisation. Do you know what globalisation is? Pause and have a think. The book gives the definition of globalisation as interconnectivity, where barriers begin to disappear. This simply means that we are no longer different societies, as we all belong to one big society. Migrant. There are various different types of migrants. Temporarily, permanent, spouse, refugee, asylum seekers are few of them. They're good to take note of these too. And there's Stefan who found that there's super diversity. Super diversity in the sense that there are various different types of migrants from various different cultures and backgrounds. As a result, he gives the name of super diversity. Cohen found that there are also different types of migrants. Number one is citizens, and in the 1970s, it was made much difficult for citizens to live within the UK. Things were tightened up. Demons, which are the rich, the privileged, like kings and queens, or even prime ministers or presidents. Or harlots. Harlots are the ones who are exploited, slaves. We'll be looking at a type of harlot in a sec. Feminization of migration. Okay, what is globalization again? This is all linked together. So, half of the migrants are dash. What do you think the dash is? Pause and have a think. Let me reveal. Before, half of the migrants were men. Now, it's interesting to take note that half of all the migrants are actually female. Women come into the country and they're instantly put into stereotypical roles because this is where the demand is. Think about it. For example, if I go to work and I have no time to look after children, clean the house, or look after the elderly, then my job, I won't go to work, so I need someone to actually help me. So they are willing to pay for a carer, and most of the carers are migrants, which come through due to globalization. It's made much more easier, so they're able to help and give a hand because that's where the demand is. Because I want to go to work, I don't want to look after the children, be a carer in any way or form. So it's good to use such an example and put it in to support your answer, because if you are giving an example and you're linking that example to theory, it'll be very beneficial for you to get this top band. And again, this is what I just mentioned, and this concept is a theory of Hochschild and Encrusher. I don't think I've said this right, so correct me there. And also Isabella found out that they're mail order brides, where they come illegally, kept in bad conditions, and they are exploited. Migrant identities. What do migrants develop? Migrants begin to develop something known as a hybrid identity. It looked at Bangladeshi Muslims. They were second generation Bangladeshi Muslims, and they said that they were first Muslims, then Bangladeshi, then they belonged to the UK, despite them having a UK citizenship. And this is all made easier with globalization. Pause and think about how this is made easier by globalization, recap on the definition, because I think it's important to get the definitions right before we continue with all of the complex stuff. So they're able to move from one place to another. And this is simply the theory of id as well. So you can all link this together. And this transitional migrants, globalization again makes it easier for migrants to move back and forth. For example, I move from the UK to the USA. Constantly, I'll be changing my identity. Or I'll be like, oh, first, when I come to Britain, I'll be like, oh, I'm British, da da da. And when I go to American, I'll adopt the American way of life. So this is all interlinked with each other. And globalization has caused hybrid identities and transitional migrants to move back and forth, which allows hybrid identities to actually develop. Politicization. So almost think of it like a political thing and a police as well. So assimilation is where we are forced as migrants to adopt things such as customs, rituals, language, values. And there are two different types of diversity: shallow diversity and deep diversity. Have a think what these means. Sometimes the words just reveal it all. As you can see in this particular section, we can see that the words deep and shallow could actually reveal the answer. So pause and have a think on that. Okay, shallow diversity is things that probably, if I'm a migrant and the other people around me, they will accept things like samosas, like food, and stuff like that. But when it comes to deep diversity, and this is deep diversity, for example, my view that, for example, it's not that I believe in this, I'm just giving an example that arranged marriages are meant to be done in order for marriages to be successful, then the other people around me will judge me as a migrant. So they will accept shallow things like food and stuff like that, but they will clothing, but they'll not accept things which are quite deep. For example, arranged marriages. Try to give examples of this. This will really, really help you to get the top grades. What we learned. So hope you're able to actually answer questions on migration. Go back, read through them, because I've tried to make them as summaries, because I understand the book is really, really painful to go through things and get them, because some things in the book you just don't need. And I understand that you've got two other A levels or BTECs or vocational courses to go on with, which has a lot of coursework as well. And so it's important to just get the summaries down, learn them, and just answer the questions. And that is it actually for the family and households topic. So I'll be continuing to do other videos as well. I'll try to do a bit of exam question and how to answer examination questions, and also we'll try to give you my secret on how I got an A star. So stay tuned for that. Until then, just revise, rest, test, and repeat all the content that we have learned so far, because it's important to repeat it so you don't forget it. And do not forget to love Canva, as I keep on saying that I downloaded these slides off Canva and the templates basically, and I imported them into a Google Slides because it's just easier. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel because I'm not getting many subscribes. Comments, I had lovely comments on my previous video, I think, and that was an amazing comment. Thank you so much for that. And please press the bell icon to never miss my video. Till then, stay healthy, stay fit, and keep revising, because if you do not revise, that's equal to downfall. So keep revising and keep resting and keep testing. Thank you so much.